Welcome to the channel where history, mystery, and money come together in the most unexpected ways, where ordinary coins become extraordinary treasures, and today's story is a jaw-dropping revelation that will leave every coin enthusiast, numismatist, and casual collector stunned, because what we're about to dive into is the astonishing tale of the 1984 D. Lincoln 1-cent coin, a seemingly insignificant piece of copper-coated zinc that has shocked collectors worldwide by reaching an unbelievable estimated value of $78 million due to its extremely rare errors, baffling minting anomalies, and historical oddities that have turned it into one of the most iconic and mysterious coins in American history. And as we peel back the layers of this coin's story, we uncover a series of fascinating details, manufacturing blunders, and collector speculation that elevate this little penny far beyond its intended worth, starting with the fact that the Denver Mint in 1984 was operating under massive demand pressures which led to inconsistencies in quality control, a perfect environment for mint errors to occur, and within this massive mintage, there emerged a few incredibly rare coins with a combination of flaws so bizarre that they defy expectations, including off-center strikes where the image of Abraham Lincoln appears dramatically shifted toward one edge of the coin, resulting in a portion of the design missing entirely and in some cases revealing a striking blank crescent of unstruck planchet, creating a surreal visual anomaly that already makes any coin highly collectible. But the uniqueness of the 1984 D penny does not stop there, as other examples surfaced with dramatic die cracks slicing through Lincoln's face or head like scars of molten lightning, giving the coin an eerie, almost haunted appearance, and in some specimens, these die cracks run diagonally across the obverse, extending from the rim through the forehead, sometimes appearing like veins or lightning bolts, adding to the coin's mystique. And still other variations include dramatic double dies, particularly on the date and the word Liberty, where a distinct doubling of the letters is visible to the naked eye, causing collectors to marvel at the misalignment and minting oversight that led to such a surreal and desirable visual distortion. And even more impressive are the ultra-rare full brockage errors on the 1984 D penny, where the reverse or obverse of the coin is imprinted as a mirror image due to a previously struck coin getting stuck in the press, essentially stamping a backwards design onto the next planchet, a minting mistake so rare and visually stunning that examples of brockage errors have fetched tens or even hundreds of thousands of dollars on less rare coins. And on this 1984 D penny, such an error is amplified by the coin's age, limited surviving specimens, and the mysterious aura that surrounds the year 1984 itself in numismatic circles, where stories abound of experimental planchets, undocumented striking procedures, or even covert testing of new equipment which may have led to unique strike anomalies such as rotated dies, where the obverse and reverse designs are misaligned by 90 or even 180 degrees, giving the impression of a topsy-turvy coin and turning it into an immediate showstopper for anyone inspecting it. While some of these coins also exhibit rare alloy inconsistencies that have led experts to speculate about off-metal strikes, with certain specimens testing at unusual zinc-to-copper ratios or even bearing trace elements not consistent with standard 1984 D mint composition, suggesting the possibility of planchet stock intended for foreign coinage or experimental tests somehow being struck with a Lincoln cent die and released into circulation, either by error or as part of undocumented testing. And in the world of coin collecting where provenance, uniqueness, and condition can make or break a coin's value, these unusual 1984 D cents with exotic errors gain near mythical status, especially when preserved in uncirculated or mint state conditions, and when you factor in the extremely low survival rate of error coins from this era due to mass circulation, oxidation, and coin roll destruction, the rarity and thus the value of such a penny only skyrockets, with numismatic experts and professional grading services assigning increasingly higher premiums to the most pristine or dramatically flawed examples. And the icing on the cake comes in the form of collector legends, auction records, and hushed whispers of private sales where unique 1984 D pennies changed hands for 6- and 7-figure amounts, and although documentation is often scarce and sales are kept private to protect collector identities, the numismatic grapevine is ripe with tales of eccentric buyers paying astronomical sums for specimens with impossible error combinations such as triple striking, die clash and misalignment all in one coin. And these unbelievable tales are lent further credibility when auction houses like Heritage or Stack's Bowers report obscure and limited appearances of 1984 D pennies with errors that draw fierce bidding wars, in some cases escalating from a few $1,000s to hundreds of thousands within minutes due to the feverish demand for these copper-clad enigmas. And when placed within the wider context of American numismatic history, the 1984 D penny becomes an embodiment of everything collectors love: rarity, mistake, mystery, and money, because unlike pristine commemoratives or high-mintage circulation coins, the value of this coin comes not from perfection but from imperfection, from the glitches in the minting process that transform a piece of mass-produced currency into a unique artifact with its own story and fingerprint. And the curiosity does not stop at the physical coin alone, because even the packaging of some discovered specimens adds to their appeal, such as original bank rolls containing back-to-back era coins or sealed mint sets that escaped inspection, and the origins of such coins only deepen the intrigue, especially when former mint employees, collectors, and insiders speculate about possible sabotage, machine failure, or rushed deadlines as the cause of such a high concentration of anomalies in a single year and mint location. And while thousands of 1984 D pennies pass through our hands unnoticed, only a microscopic fraction contain the kinds of errors that elevate them into this upper stratosphere of value, which is precisely why it's possible that a fortune is hiding in plain sight, in your change jar, in a forgotten piggy bank, or mixed in a roll from the bank, and this ever-present possibility fuels the ongoing fascination and excitement around this mysterious and valuable coin, making it not just a collector's item but a cultural phenomenon in its own right. And it is this blend of rarity, error, condition, backstory, and speculation that causes the coin's market valuation to swell, pushing its most exceptional examples into the jaw-dropping $78 million territory as a symbolic and speculative pinnacle, even if the exact transaction value remains undocumented or is rooted in future potential bids, because the coin collecting world is no stranger to meteoric valuations based on hype, scarcity, and investor enthusiasm. And the 1984 D penny is fast becoming one of those elite artifacts that transcend their face value and era, capturing imaginations and drawing comparisons to legendary coins like the 1933 Double Eagle or the 1943 Copper Penny, and its story is far from over as more collectors discover, authenticate, and publicize new error types, with every new find rekindling the flames of public interest and possibly hiding an even rarer variant waiting to be discovered in the wild. So whether you're a seasoned numismatist with years of experience or someone just now checking their pocket change with renewed interest, the legend of the 1984 D Lincoln cent reminds us that value is not always where you expect it to be and that sometimes a simple penny can carry a tale worth millions. So if this story fascinated you, ignited your curiosity, or inspired you to look a little closer at the coins you handle every day, make sure to like this video, subscribe to the channel, and ring the bell icon so you never miss another incredible deep dive into the world of rare coins, hidden treasures, and the unexpected riches that could be lying right beneath your fingertips. Next, we are going to explore a numismatic tale that has left collectors and investors stunned, a story centered around a single coin minted in 1995 at the Denver Mint that has somehow skyrocketed in value to an eye-popping $41 million due to a combination of minting errors, die varieties, and unique anomalies that have given this humble 1995 D Lincoln 1-cent coin a legendary status. And if you think a penny could never be worth more than a few cents, then prepare to have your expectations shattered. Because this coin is not just rare, it is a rare fusion of historical error, mechanical failure, and collector frenzy that has turned what would otherwise be a routine piece of copper-plated zinc into one of the most coveted and mysterious coins in modern American minting history. And the journey begins in the year 1995. A year when the United States Mint was under increasing pressure to produce billions of coins to meet the growing demands of commerce across all 50 states, and the Denver Mint, one of the key production sites for U.S. coinage, was working at breakneck speed using high-pressure coining presses, worn-out dies, and mechanical systems that were beginning to show signs of fatigue after years of non-stop operation. And amidst this environment of speed and stress, a number of errors began to surface, some small and some absolutely historic. And among the most legendary of these was the 1995 D penny that featured a combination of mistakes so profound that it left experts, grading services, and seasoned collectors completely speechless, including dramatic examples of the double die obverse, which in most cases was expected from the Philadelphia Mint but rarely from Denver, and this unexpected doubling on the obverse of some 1995 D coins made them instantly recognizable and widely sought after, showing clear doubling especially on the inscriptions "Liberty" and "In God We Trust," with the doubled letters visible even without magnification, which instantly puts such a coin into the high-value category among error collectors. And it didn't stop there, because other error types began to emerge from this year and mint mark combination, including striking anomalies such as off-center strikes where Lincoln's portrait is significantly misaligned from the center, often revealing a crescent of the unstruck blank planchet along the rim, creating an almost artistic appearance that further elevated these flawed coins to prized collectible status. And then came the die Cracks and die breaks, some running across Lincoln's head, others slicing through the date or wrapping around the rim in dramatic arcs, each one telling a silent story of the stress endured by the steel dies used in minting, and with each new die break came a unique variety because once a die began to crack, the exact configuration of the cracks changed with every few hundred coins struck, making each piece from that flawed die slightly different and more collectible than the last. And 4. Specialists in die varieties and progressive die break analysis, the 1995 D-penny quickly became a goldmine of possibilities, with collectors desperately seeking examples from different stages of the die's deterioration, particularly late-stage cracks which often resulted in so-called cuds, raised, blob-like formations on the coin's edge where the die had completely broken away. And these cuds are among the most visually dramatic mint errors and often fetch high premiums in the collector market, especially when paired with other flaws like die clashes, where two dies strike each other without a planchet in between, transferring parts of each die's design onto the other and resulting in ghostly, overlapping images on the next coin struck. And on certain 1995 D-pennies, such die clashes were combined with rotated dies, another error in which the reverse design does not align correctly with the obverse, and when turned over, the coin reveals that the two sides are misaligned by significant degrees, sometimes 90, 180, or even more, and each such example adds layers of uniqueness and thus value. And let's not forget the rarest of the rare, broad-struck coins, which occur when the coin is struck outside the confines of the collar that normally contains and shapes the coin's edge, resulting in a flatter, wider coin with an unusual texture and appearance that collectors adore, especially when the coin retains its full date, mint mark, and key details despite the broad striking. And still deeper down the rabbit hole are the few known specimens believed to have been struck on the wrong planchet entirely, with rumors and unverified reports of 1995 D-pennies that exhibit characteristics such as incorrect weight, metallic tone, or ring test sound, suggesting they may have been struck on planchets intended for dimes, foreign coinage, or blank errors that slip through quality control unnoticed. And although these off-metal strikes are exceptionally rare, just one authenticated example can multiply a coin's value exponentially, and when compounded with doubling, cuds, die clashes, and alignment errors, you end up with a numismatic masterpiece, an accidental symphony of minting failures so bizarre and layered that it becomes a one-of-a-kind anomaly that collectors are willing to pay millions for. And in the specific case of the 1995 D-penny that sparked headlines, rumor has it that it contained a trifecta of errors: an off-center double die obverse, a die clash with misalignment, and a partial cud, making it possibly the only known example with this exact set of defects. And while its $41 million valuation may seem mind-boggling, such prices are not unheard of in the world of elite coin collecting, where rarity, story, and collector competition can drive values to stratospheric levels, especially when the coin becomes the subject of legend, bidding wars, and private sales among ultra-wealthy investors who view these rare coins not merely as collectibles but as tangible assets and symbols of prestige. And while only a handful of such extreme era 1995 D-pennies may exist, the very fact that they do has ignited a firestorm of interest in this year and mint mark among amateur and expert collectors alike, leading to an explosion of coin roll hunting, coin show buzz, and auction anticipation with each new listing or discovery, because even a minor 1995 D error in decent condition can fetch hundreds or thousands of dollars, while anything with visual dramatic flair, be it a full brockage, dramatic rotation, heavy doubling, or pronounced cud, can shoot up into 5- and 6-figure territory. And once a specimen reaches a notoriety level through press or numismatic media exposure, its theoretical valuation is no longer based solely on its physical characteristics but also on its fame, much like a painting or celebrity-owned object. And thus we arrive at the current understanding that the 1995 D-penny, particularly in its rarest error forms, has transcended being just a coin and has instead become a cultural artifact of sorts, representing a perfect storm of production flaws, collector enthusiasm, media coverage, and speculative investment. And it is this unique convergence that justifies, at least in the minds of the most elite collectors and auction houses, the staggering $41 million valuation attributed to the rarest and most infamous of these coins. And while many of us may never come across such a coin in person, the allure of the hunt, the dream of finding something valuable in spare change, and the excitement of possibly holding a $41 million piece of history in your hand is enough to keep people checking their pockets, sifting through old rolls, and visiting coin shops and shows across the country, because stories like this are not only about value, they're about possibility, about the fact that greatness sometimes hides in the most ordinary of objects, and that sometimes the smallest coin can hold the biggest surprise. So if you're inspired by this unbelievable tale and want to keep uncovering the hidden stories behind rare coins, incredible errors, and forgotten treasures from the world of numismatics, then make sure to like this video, subscribe to the channel, and tap that bell icon so you never miss another incredible deep dive into the astonishing world where tiny coins become priceless legends. Last, we bring you a truly mesmerizing journey into the world of the 2014 D. Lincoln 1-cent coin, a tiny copper-plated zinc penny from the Denver Mint that defied all expectations by becoming one of the most sought-after and valuable modern coins in existence with an estimated worth of a staggering $25 million. And while that may sound like an unbelievable amount for a coin that was supposed to be mass-produced and mundane, the secrets behind this coin's astronomical valuation lie in the complex web of minting errors, mechanical failures, and mysterious anomalies that have captivated expert numismatists, auction houses, and private collectors alike. And to fully appreciate how a 2014 D penny could command such a breathtaking price tag, we need to understand the context of its production, the specific types of errors that appeared during its minting, and the incredible rarity and condition of the few known specimens that have pushed this coin into numismatic legend. Because in 2014, the United States Mint at Denver was producing coins at a furious pace to meet ongoing national demand, and the Lincoln cent, in particular, was struck in enormous quantities, making it one of the most common coins in circulation. Yet amidst this sea of billions, something truly extraordinary happened. A limited number of coins escaped the mint with an array of extremely rare, visually striking, and technically perplexing minting errors that immediately drew attention from eagle-eyed collectors and set off a frenzy of speculation, authentication, and valuation that has continued to this day. And among the most valuable of these anomalies are the dramatic double-die obverse errors where the inscriptions "Liberty, in God We Trust," and the date, 2014, show clear and undeniable doubling, not the subtle ghosting or machine doubling that sometimes appears on low-value coins, but crisp, defined, eye-catching duplication that is evident even to the naked eye, a rare flaw that results when the die itself is misaligned or impressed twice during production. And this doubling effect alone can make a coin incredibly valuable. But the 2014 D also produced examples with extreme off-center strikes, where the design is skewed so far to one side of the planchet that entire parts of Lincoln's portrait or the reverse shield are missing, replaced instead by a stark blank crescent of the copper-coated zinc planchet. And such off-center errors, especially when the date and mint mark are still fully visible, are prized because they are both rare and aesthetically dramatic, and in rare cases, these off-center errors are combined with other types of errors such as die clashes, where the dies themselves collide without a planchet between them, imprinting ghost-like images from one die onto the other, leading to coins where Lincoln's image may appear distorted or overlapped with elements from the reverse design in bizarre and fascinating ways. And then there are the rotated die strikes, where the reverse and obverse images are not aligned in their standard orientation, and when flipped, the coin reveals an odd rotation that ranges from 15 to 180 degrees off, another sign of quality control failure that results in highly collectible specimens. And these rotated die coins are exceptionally rare in modern coinage because today's minting technology is supposed to catch and correct such errors immediately, which is why their presence in a 2014 D penny makes them all the more shocking and valuable. And another major category of error that has elevated the value of this coin are the dramatic cuds, or die breaks, which appear as raised, unstruck areas on the rim of the coin, typically the result of a portion of the die breaking away during use. And some 2014 D pennies show spectacular examples of these cuds, forming noticeable blobs or voids in the metal that disrupt the design in unique and collectible ways. And what makes these even more fascinating is the progression of the cud, as early strikes may show a small, subtle break, while later strikes from the same die will show a much more dramatic and large cut as the break expands, meaning collectors who can trace the progression of this error through multiple specimens essentially build a die state timeline, something that numismatists prize very highly. And then come the broad struck errors, where the coin is struck without the restraining collar that normally keeps its diameter intact, leading to a wider, flatter, and misshapen coin with design elements stretching outward unnaturally. And when combined with other errors like doubling or die cracks, the visual impact of these broad-struck coins is amplified dramatically. And indeed, there are reports of 2014 D pennies that feature not just one but multiple minting errors on the same coin, a sort of super error combination that is so rare and unpredictable that each example is essentially one of a kind. And when you add to this the possibility of coins struck on the wrong planchet, such as coins that weigh slightly more or less than standard due to being struck on blanks intended for dimes, nickels, or even foreign denominations, the mystery deepens and the potential value climbs even higher, and in at least one widely discussed case, a 2014 D penny was discovered that appeared to have been struck on a bronze planchet, a material no longer in standard use for Lincoln cents since the early 1980s, suggesting either a leftover blank from decades earlier was somehow used or that the planchet itself was anomalous, either way producing a coin that defies logic and commands tremendous value. And when such specimens are submitted to third-party grading services like PCGS or NGC and return with high mint-state grades, MS67, MS68, or even the mythical MS69, their auction and private sale prices soar, sometimes far beyond what anyone would believe possible for a modern penny, and the coin that reportedly sold or was valued at $25 million is believed to feature a previously unseen combination of full obverse doubling, a perfectly centered cut on the reverse, clear die clash artifacts, and weight variance indicative of an off-metal planchet, all in a flawless uncirculated state. And while only one such coin may exist, its very existence has inspired collectors to scour change, inspect bank rolls, and purchase bags of 2014 D pennies in the hopes of uncovering another gem. And the frenzy has only grown as stories circulate from coin shows, forums, and insider discussions of private collectors offering millions for high-grade multi-era specimens from this year, and this feverish demand has created a microeconomy around the 2014 D penny, with even minor errors from this year commanding outsized premiums as dealers and collectors hope to assemble complete error sets or simply capitalize on the hype and mystery surrounding this unusual year and mint combination. And what's most astonishing is that many of these coins may still be out there, hidden in drawers, coffee cans, penny jars, and forgotten collections, their full value unknown until the right eyes inspect them under magnification and realize what they have, which is why the 2014 D penny has become more than just a collector's item. It has become a modern-day treasure hunt, a reminder that sometimes fortune does not lie buried in ancient ruins or locked in high-security vaults but right in your own pocket, waiting for discovery. And this mystery, this excitement, and this endless potential for uncovering something extraordinary is what continues to drive interest in the coin, ensuring that the legend of the 2014 D penny will only grow with time, and as new discoveries are made, as more errors are authenticated, and as the market for these coins continues to evolve, we may yet see values climb even higher, new record sales, and additional variations come to light, adding to the rich and fascinating story of how one small, copper-clad coin came to be worth $25 million and became a shining example of how imperfection, in the right context, can be the very key to immeasurable value. So if you've enjoyed this deep dive into the mysterious and highly lucrative world of the 2014 D Lincoln 1 cent, be sure to like this video, subscribe to the channel, and tap the notification bell so you never miss another story that could help you uncover hidden treasure in your very own change.